Florida, Mr. Gates.
Move to strike last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you. I support the Buck Amendment. When the human body sees life expire within it, one of the final sounds that it can make in dramatic and loud fashion is a death rattle. And I would suggest to the American people that what they're witnessing is the death rattle of the Democrats' Russia collusion lie. For 22 months, my colleagues on the other side, many of them said there was actual evidence of collusion. And so now, clearly seeing that that is not true, we observe our colleagues moving through the stages of grief. First, we saw shock and surprise. My colleagues would huddle together after the findings of the Mueller report were released, wondering what to do next, what play to run after losing all credibility with the American people. And after shock, we now are in the stage of denial, where the principal findings of the Mueller report, they just can't be true. They can't be accepted. They must be false. There must be more information we can discover. I know we're beginning the baseball season, so perhaps a baseball analogy would be appropriate. This would be like saying, well, we've lost the game, but we have to tweeze through the box score to see if we won the third inning. That's what is essentially happening with the desire of Democrats in the production of these subpoenas and voting on them today. It also represents a stark departure from the standards and statements that my own Democratic colleagues have laid out just last Congress and this Congress. I'm quoting now from the Speaker of the House, Ms. Pelosi, in February of 2018. She said, President Trump has surrendered his constitutional responsibility as commander-in-chief by releasing highly classified and distorted intelligence, by not protecting intelligence sources and methods. He just sent his friend Putin a bouquet. Well, there was no bouquet, no untoward relationship with Vladimir Putin, but there was a statement from the Speaker of the House acknowledging that if you do not review sources and methods, you are derelict in your duty to the country. Well, now that they're going through their stages of grief, perhaps we're approaching bargaining, because now they're trying to bargain away their own standards. But it's not just the Speaker of the House. Let's look to statements from the Chairman of the Judiciary Committee, the gentleman from New York, Mr. Nadler. He said on June 28th of 2018, Republicans are requesting documents they know they cannot have. He continued, and if the majority, speaking of the Republicans, is rightly denied, they will do their best to undermine the credibility of the Department of Justice. Well, Mr. Chairman, you are now asking for documents you know you cannot have. And you're doing so in order to erode confidence in the Attorney General who leads the Department of Justice, because he has concluded that there was not collusion and that your principal Russian narrative was not truthful, was not credible. We were right, you were wrong, and the American people know it. And so as we proceed now on this unfocused 81-pronged investigation that the Judiciary Committee has launched, as we continue to have these mindless votes on unnecessary subpoenas, I sincerely hope that the American people will remember what things the Democrats were saying just months ago, that there was collusion, that there was actual evidence of collusion, and that sources and methods could never be disclosed as a consequence of our fidelity to our oath and to the people of this country. Let's have some consistency, and let's at least have some acknowledgement that you all were not telling the truth to the American people for an extended period of time. We were, and you should not be trusted. I yield back.
The question occurs on the amendment. All those in favor?